Hi everyone. In this series, I will introduce the qualitative research. And one of the things that I will talk about today is the doing analytical memos. And analytical memos is just like your insight, your reflection, your takeaways when you start working on the data collection. So we start with these kind of memos when we work on the data analysis. So let's say, for example, you collected your data, your interviews, your observation, and now you're getting into the coding and you start to take away some insights from the data you have just collected. So you start writing down your analytical memos. Again, the significance of this analytical memo is just like helping you to organize your thoughts and to be more cognizant of the progression of your research. And in this case, you see exactly what's going on and what you need to consider during the further stages of data collection. So it's a more of reflecting on your own research progression. So we started this analytical memo right after the data collection and we start the initial. So if we decide the stages of data collection into three, let's say initial, middle, and final, we can start doing analytical memos throughout these three stages. Right after starting data collection or data analysis, or halfway through the meta analysis, or towards the end of the meta analysis. So an analytical memo is just like the researcher takeaway, so no participants is involved. It's only written by and reviewed and also considered by the researcher. So here's a sample analytical memo. So, and here it goes. Usually you start with analytical memo one or two, and then you write down your topic, just like to keep in mind that all the data is related to the topic you're working on and the date, and then the research. And you write down the researcher just in case you're working with other people. Let's say, for example, three people are collaborating in this project, and we need to know who writes what. So in this case, we need this. So he started this analytic move, some kind of introduction. So here the introduction goes like, as we embark on this qualitative study exploring the experiences of Black women faculty in higher education, my initial engagement with participants through interviews and preliminary data collection has prompted several reflections. These insights not only illuminate the complexity of these experiences shared, but also guide our ongoing data collection and analysis strategies. This memo aims to document these early observations and the emergent theme related to racism and sexism within academic setting. Observation and reflection. So that's just like a quick intro about the topic to give you some kind of context before getting into the takeaways, the reflection that you already have based on which stage you are at regarding your research. So the observation and the reflection, so intersectionality at the forefront. The concept of intersectionality has emerged as a cornerstone in understanding the experience shared by participants thus far. Black women faculty do not experience sexism or racism as separate or additive phenomena, but rather as intersecting forces that compound their experiences of marginalization in unique ways. This complexity underscored the need of our analysis to deeply engage with intersectional framework, ensuring we don't inadvertently overlook the nuanced ways in which these power dynamics manifest. So here he taps into one of the themes in his study, which has to do with intersectionality at the forefront and how important this theme and what should be considered and the significance of this complexity of sexism and racism when it comes to exploring the Black women faculty at higher ed. Then he tapped into another reflection, insights here he gathered from the research. A recurrent theme in the narrative is the significance of emotional labor required to navigate academic spaces. This labor includes managing microaggressions, fulfilling diversity rules that are often unrecognized and uncompensated, and the pressure to perform to higher standards than their peers. The emotional tolls of all of these experiences just need to further explore on the coping mechanisms and the support system that Black women faculty employ to sustain their well-being and career progression. Right? And then the last topic that he will be tapping into, despite the challenges highlighted, the initial discussion also revealed a strong sense of agency among Black women faculty. Many participants spoke of strategy for resistance, resilience, and empowerment within their professional environments. These strategies ranged from creating supportive network with other faculty of color to engaging in scholarship that challenges institutional racism and sexism. Understanding these acts of resistance and agency is critical for highlighting the strengths and perseverance of Black women in academia beyond their experiences of oppression. So here you have three more insights into three different parts of the topic, like resistance and emotional tolls, and also the observation reflection on the topic in general. So here, based on the initial observation of the task, here are some like three main concepts that the researcher came up with based on this, again, coding, or let's say, for example, engaging with the participants so far in the study. Then you can also reflect more or do some kind of reflection or reflexivity on the methods and the methodology, like the framework, whatever you need to reconsider in order to just like to neutralize your bias or your positionality, or even how to widen your lens in order to understand better the topic under investigation. So here, one of the consideration he shared has to do with the role of the researchers. So the role of the researcher here, reflecting on the initial data collection phase, my positionality as a researcher, my own identity and experiences play a significant role in how I engage with the participants and interpret their stories. Recognizing a reflection on my biases and assumptions is crucial for maintaining the integrity of the research process. This ongoing reflexivity will help in mitigating the imposition of my interpretation on the participants' narratives, building trust. So, the sensitivity of the topic discussed require building a deep sense of trust with participants, ensuring confidentiality, approaching interview with empathy, and being transparent about the study goals and my own motivation are vital components of this process. The initial interaction suggests that creating a space where participants feel safe and valued in sharing their experience is critical for the depth and authenticity of the data collected. What I need to consider further, so deepening interactional analysis. Enhance the analytical framework to ensure a nuanced understanding of the intersectionality in the experience of Black women faculty. Expanding narrative of resistance. Focus future interview on uncovering more about the strategy of resistance and empowerment employed by Black women faculty. Understanding these as key elements of their experience in education. Exploring institutional context. Consider how different institutional contexts, public versus private, predominantly white, predominantly white institutions versus historically Black colleges and universities, shape the experiences of sexism and racism for Black women faculty. reflexivity, and positionality. Continuously reflect on my positionality and its effect on the research process, ensuring that the study remained respectful and authentic to the experience of the Black women faculty. So here, he put together his insights and also what he need to consider while working further in the project. And in conclusion, he just like wraps up by saying the initial phase of data collection has laid a foundational understanding of the complex experiences of Black women faculty in higher education, marked by intersecting oppression and profound resilience. As the study progresses, these reflections will guide a more nuanced exploration of these experiences, contributing to a richer, more comprehensive understanding of their impact on Black women in academia. So all of these, just like now, he started the first phase of the data collection and he wrote down some notes, some insights he collected so far, and also he put down a roadmap whereby he can get and extract more information related to his study and also to be able to better answer the research question he set for the study. And more importantly, he has some reflection about how to neutralize all the factor that can impact the validity and reliability of the study findings. So that's just like one sample of how to do analytical memo. Just like you think about the topic to wrap up, just like think about the topic, your research question, and then the amount of data that you have collected so far, and then you start to write down your insights, like to what extent do you think the data you have collected so far is going to help you answer the research question that you have, and what you need to consider because maybe the information that you've got so far is not helping you to answer your research question. So, what are the questions you need to consider? What other framework you need to keep in mind in order to move further and produce a better outcome next time? So, that's a very simple analytical memo. So, about one of the community practice, which is the Black women faculty in higher education as a community practice. I hope that makes sense. Feel free to reach out if you have any question. And I guess that's all I have for today.